Alright, hello everyone. Today we'll be doing another episode of the Redstone series in Minecraft. We're going to be going over output devices. We're going to start off right here with the redstone lamp. This is what we've been using throughout the entire series, and we're going to really extend this outwards and use different ones. So this one is very simple. It just lights up when you activate a lever. And then we have a normal piston and then a sticky piston, as you see right here. This is a normal piston. It basically just pushes blocks when you activate it, but it doesn't actually pull them back. It only pushes them. Now, as for the sticky piston, this is the opposite. It pulls and pushes. Pulls and pushes blocks, as you see right here. Really good for piston doors, as you guys can probably tell. And now we have slime blocks. So we basically put these on pistons, or more likely sticky pistons, so that when we stand on top of them, as you see right here, boing, we go sky high after flicking the lever. So this is really cool. Just as like a little elevator system you can use that for. And the same thing goes for the honey block. This works exactly the same way, but in this example, I'm actually going to put some blocks on top as well to show that it actually moves quite a lot of blocks. I'm going to also add some additional blocks to show that there is actually a limit to the amount of blocks that you're allowed to put on this. And so if I do flip the lever now, it won't actually push them all. It just basically doesn't allow it. So there is a limit. I believe it is 12 blocks that you're allowed to push at once. But anything more than that, it will just not allow. Okay, we also have quite a lot of output devices right here. We have doors and trapdoors, as you see right here. And these are all the wooden ones, so they actually can be activated just by your player as well, by just, activating them normally. But they are also activated via redstone. So yeah, just going through all these right now, you can see there's quite a lot of them. But they all act the same, even including the new copper doors and trapdoors as well. I thought these would act very similar to the iron door, which we'll get to in a second, but surprisingly no, they act like the wooden ones. Now I also want to add this as well, the fence gates as well. These are also activated via redstone, and there's also no copper fence gates, which I thought was quite interesting. So all the wooden fence gates, they are also activated via redstone. And now I'm just showing you right here that you can actually obviously activate the trapdoors and the doors, but you cannot do the same for iron doors and iron trapdoors. Instead, you literally have to use the redstone to activate it. I also want to just highlight an additional little thing with pistons as well, since I covered them over there. You can basically push pistons, which allows you to do little things like this, where you can essentially push blocks that you wouldn't normally be able to in normal configurations. So I can actually pull this back to this position here, which is pretty cool. You can actually push blocks that you wouldn't otherwise be able to. And this is a big component of piston doors. Okay, so next up, we're going to be going over a little mechanic with some minecart rails. So this is got to do with the powered rail. So you actually have to power this to make it actually work. Now, on the right-hand side, you can see I've used a redstone torch to activate the power rail. But over here, you can see this is actually powered off. So I can actually use this lever right here to power it. And as you can see, as the output, you can see that the minecart actually starts moving now. Pretty simple stuff. Obviously, you can have this whole thing rigged up with redstone, so you can power certain rails at certain times. So yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to experiment with. But as you see right here, we have an activator rail. Now, what this basically does is when we make the minecart go on top of it, it ejects anyone that's actually on it. So we're going to power this right now. I'm going to show you guys what it's like. I did not actually get out that minecart. It basically forced me out of it. So if I try to go into it again and keep going into it, it's going to keep forcing me out of it. Which is really good, especially if you want people to get out of the minecart at a certain time. Like when you arrive at a destination. And now we're on the armor stands. Now what I have set up right here is a little contraption that is basically like a clock. But what it's doing is it's basically cycling through all of the different animations of the armor stand. And as you can see, it's affected by redstone and it's dancing a little bit. If I break the torch right here, as you can see that it stops, but you can actually do this yourself. If you just crouch, if you guys didn't know this, if you crouch and then interact with the armor stand, it actually changes its position, which is pretty cool. And obviously if you hung it up to a clock in some way, it will just continuously change positions. So you can do some pretty fun stuff with that, especially if you have your armor on it and it's just going to be dancing in the corner of your room. But yeah, now we're on to the final part of this video already. Well, the final part is even more fun than this, but it's a pretty fun part. We're going to be going over note blocks and all the different sounds that these can make. So what I've done once again, if you guys want to know how I've actually done this, is I've basically made a little clock behind these, which uses hoppers. Now, hoppers obviously pass blocks between them, which is they both face each other. So that's why it's created a little loop, and the comparator's basically reading that in case you are curious how I've made this. But why I've done this is because then I can activate the note block over and over and over again. So this one right here is underneath a wood block, and as you can see, it is a kind of... it plays a little bass sound. Now I'm going to obviously interact with it to make it more high-pitched. If you use sand, gravel, or concrete powder, you will have a snare drum. If you use glass or sea lantern, you will have a clicking sound. If you use any stone material, you will have a bass drum. If you use a block of gold, you will have bells. If you use clay, you will have a flute. If you use packed ice, it'll be a chime. If you use wool, it'll be a guitar. If you use a bone block, it'll be a xylophone. If you use an iron block, it'll be a vibraphone. If you use soul sand, it'll be a cowbell. If you use a pumpkin, it'll be a didgeridoo. If you use a block of emerald, it'll be an 8-bit sound. If you use a hay bale, it'll be a banjo. If you use glowstone, it'll be an electric piano. And if you use any other block, it'll be a normal piano. But yeah, that's all the sounds. Now we're going to go over all of the different types of heads that you can put on top of the note block, not below, and it'll actually just play the sound of the mob. But yeah, we have a few more additional ones that I actually just thought about before we ended this video, and that is the bell right here. As you can see right here, this is another output device. This little jingle sound when you activate it. So does the copper bulb right here. It actually maintains the output that you have as well. That goes for all the copper bulbs as well. And we also have a few more as well, and these are the command block, the structure block, and the minecart with command block inside. These ones are a little bit more complex, as you actually need to use commands to obtain these, and you can actually activate these with redstone. I've got a whole Minecraft command series as well on my channel, so if you want to go check that out for anything to do with commands, then please do. And also, if you guys are curious on how to use structure blocks and you really want to know how to, please do let us know, and I will make a guide on all the things to do with structure blocks, because they are very helpful, specifically when copying from copying things from one place to another, so please do let us know and I will make a guide for that as well. But as of right now, I'm just basically informing you that these are additional output devices. So that's really cool. You can have all these hooked up, obviously with redstone, and kind of prank your friends to make them think as if a creeper's in the base. But yeah, we've got one final output device that I think is pretty fun. We're going to flip this lever and we're going to blow up the entire area with some TNT, of course. Probably the most fun output item in the game. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. And of course, once again, if you do have any questions, please do leave them in the comments. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.